Breakfast show. Your unconventional cup of goddamn, is that hashish? Right here on ILoveMelville.live.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. And you in the corner too. What's happening? You know what it is? It's a boy Silver HSC, the guy with the energy. And it's Monday morning. Yeah, the beginning of the week. Yeah. You know what it is, guys. You know, the time right now is 8:06, exactly Central African time. And you know what it is? This is ILoveMelville.live, and you're currently tuning to the Melville Streets 2.1 breakfast show, the most unconventional show in ILoveMelville. You know this. Yeah. And yes, once again, I am back. I'm sure you guys missed me because I definitely missed you. How about our intro, for the day? Game of Thrones. Some people say over the weekend they call it Game of Thrones. Over the weekend, guys, talking about the weekend. The weekend was so dramaful. Cho. If only you know what happened. Yo. So the reason why we played this, you know this, man. What we're gonna be doing, you know how Mondays is. Monday is a Manic Monday, and we will be talking about the Zulu royal family, the good, the bad, the dirty, and the conspiracy theories behind everything. Could it be the royal family is being under attack, and the throne is being fought for the right? Who's the rightful successor? Yep, this is what's been happening over the weekend, guys. But now, before we go there with that one, we just wanna look deep into King Zuluti's family. Look at who did he leave behind. Just before we try to understand who's supposed to be the successor, I mean, like, this is something that's been buzzing the world, or SA, if I may put it that way, or the Zulu Kingdom. Because we're talking about the Zulu Kingdom at this moment. So now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna jump real quick on who Zulutini actually left behind about 2 months ago. Because of now, there is drama. Game of Zulu Thrones. Yeah, that's what's happening at this moment, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following this story, but then this is what's happening out there. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to go through a list of King Zuluti's Zulutini wives and children, right? So that we can understand before we dive deep. Because of, hey guys, it looks like it's Game of Thrones, guys. You know what for those who don't know what Game of Thrones is, it's a series. It's a series that played on HBO, guys, right? So on the series, it's about 7 other kingdoms fighting to rule all the other 7 kingdoms. Right, but there's always there's someone who there's the rightful successor for the Iron Throne. But now, because of now in history, everything was mesh and everything. So everyone was just trying to get to the throne, trying to get to the Iron Throne. So this is why we call today's episode, today's Manic Monday, a Game of the Thrones, because of now what is happening in the Zulu Kingdom. Right. So let's jump right into it. King Zulutila was the reigning king of the Zulu nation up until his death on the 12th of March, 2021. He took over the throne after the death of his father, King Cyprian Beguzulu in 1968. After his first marriage, he was installed as the eighth monarch of the Zulu nation. hmm So now you see, like at least here, there's still something. And unlike Game of Thrones, where things got messed up from the Mad King, but now we at least here with the difference with this one is we actually know where King Zulitini gets his throne from. And then now the article continues from briefly saying that King Goodwill Zulitini Kabega Zulu died in March 2021 after being hospitalized for several weeks. Zanti apologized, the leader of the most dominant tribe in the country. However, the question of whom his successor will be has been crossing the minds of most people. Thereof, going through the details of King Zulitini wives and children will help you familiarize yourself with his family. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first wife would be Sibongile Winifred Dlamini. Sibongile Winifred Dlamini, known to many as Ama Dlamini or Queen Dlamini, was King Zulitini's first wife. They got married on the 27th of December 1969. Just as Dalaba together Labantu Labo, 1969, 2 years before taking the throne. The marriage of 45 years gave rise to 5 children, although his eldest son, Letuktula Zulu, passed on in 2020. And then we have the second wife, who is Buhle Kamate. In 1974, 70-year-old Buhle Kwamate became King Zulitini's second wife. Queen Buhle gave birth to 8 children, and in 2002, one of her daughters made headlines due to the marriage to Chief Mfundo Mtirara of the Abatembu royal household. Chief Mtirara is alleged to have paid approximately 150 head of cattle for her hand in marriage. Just says, you know how much is that? 150 cattle. But we're not there. We're not there. We're trying to introduce everybody to everyone so we know what's happening. Who do we think is the rightful successor? So now the third wife will be the late Queen Dlamini, who is called also the Great Wife. Queen Mantombi Dlamini was King Zulitini's third wife and the sister to King Mswati III. They got married in 1977 and so far have 8 children. So far left behind 8 children. Her son, Misuzulu, is alleged to be strong contender for the throne. You see, even in this website, they really have someone in mind. But then, yeah, we'll dig deep to it because of there's so much about this. So we're not looking at who's supposed to. We're still looking at the wives and the children. But then, as we see so far, they're not mentioning every kid in the family. But don't worry, I got you sorted with that. Then moving on to the fourth wife, which is Thandekile Thandi Jane Ndlovu. Thandekile Thandi Jane Ndlovu got married to the late king in 1988. In 1988, the union yielded 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. And I'm moving on to wife number 5. This guy. How many wives does this guy have? Anyway, may his soul rest in power. Number 5 will be Nompumelelo Mkhiza. Nompumelelo Mkhiza got married to the king on the 25th of July 1992 as the fifth wife. The marriage of close to 3 decades yielded 3 children. Queen Nompumelelo Mkhiza lives at the Enyokene Palace, which is regarded as the king's traditional palace, and hosts the Umhlanga Reed dance every September. And then now moving on to the last wife, but not least. And then funny thing is, in this website, as I said earlier, this is briefly.co.za. The last wife, they have a picture of her, and she does look stunning. Yeah, at least the king had a good eye, I must say. So her name is Zola Zolisiwe Mafu. 35-year-old Zola Zolisiwe Emafu is King Zolotin's sixth and last wife. She was selected to become the king's wife when she was 17. And for the past 7 years, she has lived in one of the royal homes. Queen Zola is the mother of youngest King Zolotin's children, Prince Ntlandla. Oh, Ntlandla. Sorry about that. But yeah, man. This is what I'm talking about. So now the article continues, says King Zolotin's children. Number one will be Prince Letuktula Zulu, was the eldest king's children. He was born in 1970 to the Queen Dlamini. The late Letuktula Zulu passed on 2020. And then we have a Princess Nombuso Zulu. Just a second. Nombuso Zulu is the eldest King Zolotin's daughter. She was born in 1973 to Queen Dlamini. Currently, Nombuso is the owner of Ilembe Catering Services, a Durban-based business. And then number three will be Ntombi Zosuthu. Yeah, Ntombi Zosuthu ka Zolotini Duma. Yo, what a name. My word. Yo. Tech lady, you dare name your children like this? I'm sure your kids will be angry at you. Did you listen to how long this name is? Ntombizo Sutu Ga Zoletini. And I'm sure you can't just say Ntombi. No, you have to say the whole name. But anyways, Ntombi, I'm gonna leave it there. Ntombi is the second King Zolotini's daughter. She was born in 1979 to Queen Dlamini and is currently married to Umbongiseni Duma, a businessman based in Johannesburg. Around. And Ntombi co-owns a strategic what's this? Pursuance. And Zamandle. King Zamalwandle, sorry about that. Zamalwandle Transport Logistics. And then number 5 is Princess Ntandoyenkosi ka Zolotini. Yo, these names though, Ntandoyenkosi, like who does that though? Who does that? Would you do that, tech lady? But you look like a person who would do that. Would give a name like Lehodimala Lefatsi Landate as a name. yeah. The heavens and earth of the Father. I guess that's how you would direct translate it. But anyways, let's just move on, guys. Number 5 will be Princess Sinetemba Batizulu. Who is the youngest of Queen Dlamini's daughters, and then we followed by number 6, Princess Sibusile Zulu, and then there's number 7, Princess Nandi Zulu, and we have another one, a Prince Pumuzu Zulu. Wait a minute, guys. Like, okay. Sometimes I'm happy that I'm not Zulu. But then I'm not saying that my language is better because of, hey, Africans and names, like, and then number 9, we have Prince Slobosenkosi. And number 10, we have a Prince Ntlanganiso. We have another prince also, Baza. Yo, how many princes? Okay, before I continue with this, because it looks like all these names in here are just gonna take my time, and even my tech lady looks bored already. I can only imagine how you're feeling. yeah. But another thing is, I just had to go through this. But obviously, like, the king had a lot of kids. So far, I'm counting 26 kids. 26 kids. As a king, 6 wives. And then you pass away. And then after you pass away, we all know what's going to happen. Oh, everyone is going to want to ask what's happening. What is the shiz of the biz in the knees? So now, at this moment, as we read earlier on this article that they mentioned, one of Queen or the late Queen Dlamini Zulu's son is a strong contender to become the successor. But asaz, asaz, asaz. There's so many wives. I mean, like if you're looking at number the third wife's kid, and then we still have the first wife. I'm like, oh. And then now we look. We come. Last time Friday, one of the articles we're reading is the passing of Queen Dlamini Zulu, right? And then we also noticed that Queen Dlamini Zulu actually passed away a month after she was being a regent of the Zulu nation. Ta 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 ta. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then also there's some rumors out there that Queen Dlamini Zulu was actually poisoned about 2 years back, hence why she was sick for the past 2 years. And then now here's the thing, it just raises too many questions. But yeah, I'm the same as everyone at this moment. Like I'm catching things in the air. I'm catching things in the air. Like I'm not even sure. You know, this morning, as I was in a taxi to come here. So I was the first person to the Joburg taxi, right? To the Josie taxi. I say Josie taxi because I'm from the outskirts of Josie. Don't come and look at me weird. But yeah, I asked this guy because he's Zulu, not because he's a taxi driver, because he's Zulu. And I'm like, so my king, tell me something. What do you think of this thing going on? Who's the rightful successor in the Zulu kingdom? And then now this is a Zulu person, right? This guy, take lady, look at me. So I asked this guy, I'm like, so what do you think about this thing that happens about the throne and everything? This guy laughed at me, right? He's like, I into corner. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, but then what do you mean it is what it is? Because I mean, like, there's stories now, like people are fighting. The queen might have been poisoned, and then a month after she was placed as regent, now she dies and stuff like that. Do you think there's something behind that? And then this is what he said to me. Actually, he's like, yeah, the thing is, how is it possible to put someone who came as a third person to become the queen of the Zulu nation? So obviously after that, even though she was still alive, there was still gonna be war, a verbal war, as he said. He didn't say there was gonna be war like Inkabi and stuff like that. It's gonna happen. But then what he said is, apparently not everyone agrees with what was happening or what the will of the late King Zulutini said. So what do you think about this, tech lady?
What do I think about what?
What do you think about what's happening in the Zulu kingdom in terms of the third wife becoming the regent of the Zulu nation?
I mean, it only made sense for the third wife to become.
I don't think the viewers can hear you because I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you don't have to hear me much.
But then I ask you a question. You should be answering me, not the people.
I hear about home. It's only fair that the third wife becomes the regent because she has royal blood. So nobody should even be contesting that.
Okay, I know that you don't, you and Stembu, you don't get along. But then now, if this was you in your position, you being the first wife, and then now the third wife shows up, and then she becomes more important, how would you feel though?
I don't know. I'd be indifferent about it.
I feel like there's a ta 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 ta
ta. I
ta.
put myself in a position where I'm in a polygamous marriage already. That was just like, yeah, no, you're like, so whatever happens afterwards, I shouldn't even be complaining about it because I chose.
Because you chose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Power of choice. We live by the choices we make.
Wow. Okay. 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 I hear you. You know, like having to talk about this, telling me about like it's only fair that the third wife, because of now she's got royal blood in her, she can become the great one or the queen. You reminding me of this other series called why do I keep forgetting the name? Not Game of Thrones, but what? Vikings. Yes, 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 Vikings. Shoo. So now what happens in Vikings is Ragnarok becomes the king, right? And then he has a first wife called Lakatha, right? But now homie right here, yeah, that's Ragnarok and his rightful queen, right? The tech lady is gonna sort you out just now. But now here's a story that's happening in Vikings, right? So Lakatha, the lady who's standing next to Ragnarok, is she was the first queen, but now Ragnar came across another lady somewhere on these trips, and then I forgot her name, and then Ragnar falls in love with her, and now because of now she's royal blood. As soon as they came to Ragnar's palace, you know, for a hand in marriage because of she was pregnant. Now it changed everything. It changed everything. Lakatha knew that now she was going to be dethroned, or she was going to be a second wife immediately. And then she didn't go down with it. She took a choice and then she left. You know, she forfeited everything. She's like, you know what, dude, like, I don't know what you're doing. If you're gonna continue with this one, it's fine, because she knows that his son Bjorn wasn't gonna be the successor of Ragnar's throne. So it was very painful to her to actually watch it happen, and then she decided to leave. I feel like most of the people out there who find themselves in this situation, the easiest thing is to leave, man. Unlike having to sit there and hope for the inheritance. I mean, like, since there's drama about the inheritance at this moment, doesn't it mean that it's been something that's been lingering there? Like, people, I mean, like, for him to have 6 wives, all of them, I'm sure they're just looking at the inheritance, even though they do know that who's supposed to be the rightful successor. Things that people do for inheritance. Things people do for inheritance. But yeah, guys, you know what it is, man. You still currently tuned to the I Love Marvel.live, and you're watching the Marvel Streets 2.1 breakfast show. You know, this is the most unconventional breakfast show in I Love Marvel.live. And you tune with your boy Silver HSC, the guy with the energy, the guy who doesn't get bored. And then today, as we were talking about it, we're still talking about Game of Thrones, but not the version that you know. We're talking the Game of Thrones in the Zulu Nation. Yeah. So what we were doing is we looked into King Zuluti's family and got to understand it, or get to know it a little bit better, so we can actually talk about this proper. All of this, guys, doesn't it remind you of something? Doesn't it remind you of something? Doesn't it remind you of Shaka Zulu's story? Even though it's not exact, but then it's exactly like Vikings. It's exactly like Game of Thrones, which is why I actually mentioned it. And like, okay, we start with ta 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 ta, because it looks like there's so many plottings happening. Ba 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 ba. And then you have your Vikings, where the first wife and the second wife, or the third wife, it's more like the second wife becomes I think ascends to a higher position than the first wife, and then the first wife finds themselves, you know, being the third wife or the second wife instead of being the first wife. Yep. But then, guys, for a second now, we were about to take a short break into a music video, and then we're gonna come back and continue with this, having to look deep down into the Zulu nation, or how the Zulu tribe actually works. We're gonna look back to King Shaka Zulu's time, and then come forth with it, and we dig deeper. Let's do this.
Thula mamela ichomana ukhula ngihobuka ngihozuka kuba ngihonyonyo yikho ngcwele inyongo ihanga ngiyayibonga ingenze ngaba yimambani thanks God's plan ukhulele one roomini kwenze ukuthi ngibe nephupho lebhazabhaza lendlu ukokha barefooted with a hungry stomach to school ukusala ekhaya makuphuma ama trip was a black Christmas no jelly and custard skip ipapa necabbage ispices sakhona inyembezi mazwele platini impahla ezintsha kuhaba ngibulaliswa impahla zasemakhishini ukuvaya ama long distance ngenyandula kwenze ukuthi ngenze sure ukuthi ngiba neimoto my childhood lover wangiphula inhliziyo danki ngiyabonga sengiyazi umfazi yini okungabi first choice or favorite ebantwini sibusise singifundisa ukuhlakanipha kokuqala ukukhula ungenababa yikho kungenza ukuthi uNkulunkulu angibone ezandleni danki ngiyabonga ngiyayithanda ihanga hanga.
Now we eating good, there's no more hunger. 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 Now we eating good, there's no more hunger.
Yes Takila asibajele boy ukuthi hanga yini yabona ukuvalelwa ngaphandle kungenze ukuthi ngaba namehlo amane sengikwaze ukukhahlela iminyango engenze ukuthi ngibe yiboss abengilook like a boss
bebathi ngijajaraka mangivela kanti ngiyinkala katha ngempela manje ngiqala phansi nabantwana bahle sengiphatha namakhankela vele kucace manje mangivela they answer manje mangivela when I leave vele kumi party ziwa when I come back angithi dala besilamba iwinter fana nesummer kunzima kodwa bengizama ngihambe ebusuku intwana beyiphanda got me at 9 to 5 kuthi ngishintshe isimo manje sengiphanda more kuthi ngiphila impilo went to every single show baloku bathi ngiyasitshela my name was under many more kodwa still ngiyabangena cover the lame sengenelele they cover the name now they consider me part of the game yakhanya manje mangivela abantu abasaqashi and I bought a house in Masabapini intwana ayisaqashi hey sidla kamnandi manje sidlulile isikhathi sokulamba now we eating good there's no more hunger 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 now we eating good there's no more hunger 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 now we eating good there's no more hunger
masa mina mangithanda ngene sowethu ngithenga isikopha mina mangithanda seafood platter mina mangithanda and I can Uber eat mina mangithanda I like to drive but I fly mina mangithanda yo I'm in the best smart I'm ghetto mina mangithanda I can afford lover to leave you mangithanda or meet you mangithanda or drop a Vesla mangithanda.
Donkey Kulu. You know, I could have dropped another verse, Lana, but bringing two legends on the same song. Zola no Chipima Orange. Abantu besikula sibabukela sonke TV. From the Yizo days, you know, we never thought it was possible. Now we're like brothers. So this is just to show you, Guti, it's possible. Now we eating good, there's no more hunger. 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 Now we eating good, there's no more hunger.
Abashwe Choman, be a king in your own kingdom, ubayeke laba bazenza dom, ubheka abangani abangabanga kahle, kumele uzenzela una choice, ithathe njengejeni lento. You are in the making, you will reach your destination. Life is meaningless without a journey. Bekezela kuzolunga nathi sendlule khona. Impilo rough fast, senze the best and learn from the best. You will be the best among the rest. Gijima ngeyakhe pace ungacompete. Ibuka
Yeah. You know what it is. It's a Love Marvel Live, guys. And just right now, we're just watching a music video coming straight from Tequila featuring Zola and Ma Orange called Hunger. Where you hustle at? Are you hustling like the Game of Thrones people? Are you hustling like the Zulu Kingdom right now? Is a hustle on? Hunger. So, guys, earlier on, as we were talking, we tried to go through King's Willie as well as a family and get to know the family as who's the first wife and who's the last wife and the kids. And All we know that is, man, there's Game of Thrones going on here. So now I'm gonna jump into another topic that I touched a little bit back then. So the late queen being poisoned, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Now this is where the story. This feels like season 3, the Red Wedding. Ooh, I'ma leave you with a dead end. Ooh, let me jump into it. So I have an article coming from BBC, right? Saying that Zulu Queen Mantombi Dlamini dies a month after becoming regent. So this is what we were reading. This is a heading that we were reading last Friday. So now it says the Zulu royal family in South Africa has announced the death of its monarch queen Shiwe Mantombi Dlamini Zulu just a month after she became a regent. Like you see, now let me go through it. Queen Mantombi, 65-year-old, became interim leader of the country's largest ethnic group last month after the death of her husband, King Goodwill Zwelithini. The Queen's prime minister said her death had taken the family by surprise, and they were utterly bereft. He has dismissed rumors that the Queen had been poisoned. A successor as a ruler of the 11 million strong nation has not yet been named. It is with the deepest shock and distress that the royal family announces the unexpected passing of Her Majesty Queen Shiwe Mantombi Dlamini Zulu, regent of the Zulu nation. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, the Prime Minister, said in a statement. He said he wanted to assure people that there would be no leadership vacuum in the Zulu nation. The BBC's Nomsa Masuko in Johannesburg says divisions in the family are pointing to a possible troubled and turbulent succession battle. And he goes ahead and says the throne does not have a formal political power, and the monarch's role within the broader South African society is largely ceremonial, but they remain hugely influential with a yearly taxpayer funded budget of more than $4.9 million. Damn it! Now we seeing the build-up of ta 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 ta. Let's continue. And then Queen Mantombi was admitted to hospital a week ago after suffering an unspecified illness. South African media reported when she left, she was ill, and rumors were that she was poisoned. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi told the national broadcaster SABC, he said he didn't want to discuss her health in public, but did say she had been ill for some time. So now most people do know that Queen Mantombi was actually sick for the past 2 years. That makes me question a lot also. She's been sick for 2 years, till currently, meaning, and then they still make a regent. So let's try to digest this part I just read. As I say, like, so now, Okay, let me be honest with you guys. I'm being honest right now. I'm moving on with the story because of my laptop at this moment is just doing its own things. But anyways, so the Great Queen was sick for 2 years, right? This is where the rumors start off, actually. She's been sick, and then they're thinking that she's been sick because she was poisoned for 2 years. And then a month ago, she was appointed as a regent of the Zulu nation while she's sick. Why do I feel like there was aim somewhere. I get created the conspiracy and stuff like that. Somebody said I must do something, and then I'm trying to do it, and wowza. But anyways, guys, how is it possible that for someone who's been sick for 2 years, and then they still put responsibility on their shoulders? I mean, like we all know, if someone is sick, if, for example, let's say before Mandela became the president, and then he was really sick, do you think we would have still wanted him as a president? I mean, like he's sick. What good is he gonna do? I'm not saying anything bad, but what I'm saying is, if someone has been sick for 2 years and you still make them regent, does it make sense? Or does it mean, it doesn't sound like tang tang ta ta tang tang ta ta tang tang ta ta tang tang ta 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 ta. Tech lady, what do you think?
What do I think of?
Never mind.
What's going on?
So now, as the article goes, says when she left, she was okay. No, I read that part. He said he didn't want to discuss her health in public, but did say she had been ill for some time. She had been appointed on the role on the 24th of March after her 72-year-old husband King Zwelithini died in a hospital from diabetes-related complications. King Zwelithini had ruled the nation for almost 50 years. Yo, this guy has been out there. Like when someone rules for over 50 years, doesn't it sound like it's a little bit like dictatorship? It doesn't? Ain't you supposed to give someone space? That's what happens. You end up dying on the chair. But anyways, so who was Queen Mantomfumbi? Right now, let's dig deeper into that. Queen Madlamini Zulu held the highest status among the king's wives, as she came from the royalty. She was the sister of Eswati's King Mswati III, Africa's only absolute monarch. Queen Madlamini Zulu had 8 children, including 5 sons with the late king. The eldest son, who is 47-year-old Prince Misizulu, is the favorite to take the throne, reporters say. Now, the article jumps into a succession battle may lay ahead. Now, there's something very so juicy that I want to talk about when we get to the next part. When we get to the second part, oh my God, I really want to get into this part, because of now this is where the idea of Game of Thrones showed up. You know what I mean? So let me just jump into comments real quick. I'm gonna jump to comments because I can see my colleague is out here. Finally, you're watching the show. And then she started off with, I'm not gonna read that one. I'll see her when she gets here. And then Kabelo is shook actually, having to us that she died. Yes, Mama. The Queen actually passed on last week Thursday, right? Thursday morning. No, Thursday late to Friday early mornings. And then yes, Kabelo, I also smell a rat here. She comes back and says, I smell a rat. And she says, like, ain't no space in the royal family, bro. Ain't no space. Yeah. So what you're saying, they're trying to minus each other. So yeah, guys, in this first hour, we let me just recap a little bit. We spoke about King Zwelithini's family, so we get to understand this whole drama that's happening in the Game of Thrones and your Viking ship that's happening here because of snap. Look, it sounds like there's so much juicy drama going on, and everyone is trying to keep quiet. But then, when someone is holding in that secret, and then that secret just wants to burst out. So we looked at the king had about 5 wives. I don't know if I could do with 5 wives actually. So the king had 6 wives, and then he has about close to 27 kids. Yep, 27 kids. And then after that, we jumped straight into who Queen Ntomfumbi is, or the late Queen Madlamini. Yeah. Mantombi. Oh, now you calling it better because I've been calling it better. Now you coming here to teach me. You were biting your tongue last night, Mo. But anyways, yeah, to the late Queen Dlamini Zulu, right? So say what? Say what? We were biting tongues. Yeah. So yeah, the king had about 27 kids. And then now the drama that's going on is who is the rightful successor? Most people saying Queen Dlamini Zulu's son should be the rightful successor because of the royal blood that flows in their blood. Because of the late queen was the great queen, because of now she's a sister to the to King Muswati III. That made her a higher being in all the king's wives. Yeah. So basically, Game of Thrones started playing or started happening from 1977 when the king married the late queen. When the late king married the late queen. Shubile, it is on. So yeah, guys. On the second part, this is where we're gonna go deeper because of now what happens is, just like Vikings, Lakatha shows up again, fighting back for what's right for her. Yep, we all know that her son cannot be the rightful successor because of he has passed on. That is the firstborn of the first queen. Drama. It is on, guys. Like, oh, I want to go deep into it because of now Queen Sibongile actually does challenge the will. It's gonna go down. Apparently the will is fake. Apparently the signature there. Apparently it's with a different company. Yeah, someone is the Kingslayer, apparently, or the Queenslayer. Hey, Game of Thrones in the Zulu Nation. Vikings, the Zulu edition. Hey, it is on. But guys, you know what it is. This is I Love Marvel.live, and you're currently tuning to the Marvel Streets 2.1 with your boy Silver HSC, the guy with the energy, the most unconventional breakfast show ever. Yeah, you know this. I tell your people to actually join us on the second part on Facebook. I Love Marvel.live, and they can also join us even on YouTube because we out. Yeah, we're back on YouTube. I don't know if the tech lady did actually. Yeah, they can only mean yes, we are back. You know this. And tell your people to show up on YouTube. Also subscribe. We still want the subscriptions. This is I Love Marvel Space Live, and then you can also check out our content on Twitter, which is I Love Marvel L. Don't forget about our TikTok and Instagram, which is ILoveMarvel.live. But then for now, I was just going to tell your people to do the very same thing I just told you right now. Join us for the second part as we dive deeper into this Game of Thrones, the Zulu edition. Hashtag Silver's out here. To spin, guys, I will see you in a few couple, you know this, couplas of couplas.
Oh.